Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry that I need to speak in English. It's wonderful to be here in Rio. It's a beautiful city. I went to the Christ the Redeemer. It was just amazing. And thank you so much for coming here in this bad weather. However, I feel that because it's raining, it's cooler, right? So there is some positive side to it, right? Yeah. So I was thinking maybe I can start my talk by sharing one joke. I would like to start with a joke. I hope it works here. So there was a little girl. There was a little girl who attended a wedding for the first time. So this was her first wedding, like a small girl. So this girl, while she was, sitting and looking at the bride, and she discovered, her bride was wearing a beautiful white dress. So this little girl asked her mother, "Mom, why is she wearing white color?" And then the mom said, "It is because white represent, your happiness. Bride is having the happiest day of her life. That's why she's wearing white color." And then the little girl looked around and thought about something, and she asked another question. That is, "Mom, why is the groom wearing in black?" Did you get it? Yeah. Yeah. So it's nice to start with a joke because when we laugh, there is the element of openness. This feeling of open, feeling of bringing our mind to the present moment. And there is the laughter, which also unites us. So that's what I love about it. Today, I was going to talk about a little bit of happiness, because we are living in this very capitalist society where result matters, having really good efficiency, getting things done, it matters. Also, it makes you feel like in order to be happy, you have to make a lot of money to be feeling happy. However, if we only think that happiness in terms of changing outer circumstance, that is, if we change outer circumstance and then everything is better, then I will be happier. We often think that way. However, if this is the case, then we should be much, much happier now than, let's say, 30 years ago. In Korea, for example, 30 years ago, we had military dictators. I hear that is similar in Brazil, right? Yeah. So situation right now is a lot better because there is no student demonstrations, there is no tear gas, there is no fighting in the street. However, if I ask my people in Korea, are you happier, a lot happier now, then say, no, more or less the same. You know what I mean? Yeah? And then if you are talking to a lot of my parents' generations, they went through a lot of poverty. They were very hungry, they didn't have enough food to eat. People in the 60s in Korea, especially. However, in the 70s and 80s, Korea did very well. So we start having a big company like Samsung. I know a lot of you have a Samsung phone, and then we have a car company like Hyundai. So we are doing really, really well. And right now, people are a lot wealthier. However, if you ask them, are you really, really happy because we are very wealthier than before? At least we are 20 times wealthier than 20 years ago, right? Or 30 years ago. But the answer is no, not really. We are just about the same. So what I'm trying to say here is just by changing the outer circumstance, we cannot just become fully happy. I do believe that, political stability or, basic economic, needs, that should be met in order to be happy. However, just by thinking that, by changing outer circumstance alone will make us happy, I think there is some limit to that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. So I was thinking, what then can I do to make ourselves, happier? So I was, coming up with, simple, like 7 or 8 things we can do besides, just trying to achieve something, is trying to, get somewhere. Because what happened is, even if you arrive at the place where you want to arrive, whether it's a huge success in your business, whether it's getting into the dream university, or whether it is to getting a huge promotion, what happened is, even if you get there, guess what? There is a better, more, higher goals you automatically look at, and therefore you feel as though you cannot relax. You still have to struggle. You cannot stop enjoying, what is in front of you. So for that end, I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that, we can actually find the alternative routes to become happier, not based on economic measure, but different way, changing our inner condition. Not just outer condition, but also inner condition we can change. So the first thing we can do is, write a gratitude diary. Do you know what I mean, gratitude diary? So that's what I do. Every night I try to write, 5 things that I feel very grateful for that day. So when I write it, it makes me feel very, very happy. We can always look for something better, However, if we are just constantly looking for something better to be happier, then guess what? We will never be able to satisfy. For example, I have a very rich, Korean Buddhist friend in Seoul, and he told me that, oh my gosh, I am so poor, I am so poor and I'm so unhappy. So I asked him, what do you mean? You are a very rich person. Why is that? Why are you saying that you are so poor? And he said, in my bank account, I only have $10 million. And all my friend has a nice building in Gangnam Stations. So I went and looked for the building to buy, and all the building that I want to buy, it was over $30 million. And therefore, I have, I need $20 million more, and therefore I am so poor, So, when you think that, when I have a lot of money, then I will not feel this deficiency. However, that's not the case. You will constantly still feel the deficiency, not enough. I need to have more, this feeling. But this feeling can be stopped, when we practice gratitude. So, for example, when you start looking at what you feel grateful about, like for example, for me today, I like the fact that weather is cooler, right? And then another thing that I really, really like is that in the hotel, I could enjoy, like Brazil has a really nice orange. Is it like a tangerine, Do you know that? Like, I love that, So this is a new thing that I discovered. So I can eat it as much as I want. And they are also free, you know that? In the hotel lobby, you walk in and it's like right there. So I picked them up for free. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. So, and then as I was waiting for the elevator, guess what? Elevator was right there waiting for me. I didn't have to wait for the elevator to come down, So there was like a lot of grateful things that I could think about. Yesterday I had this panel here with another 2 authors. They were just so wonderful, and I got to hug them because one of the guys really wanted to hug a monk. So I hug him. He felt really, really happy, So I write them, all the things that I feel really, really grateful. As you write all those grateful things, you become happier, Happy people may not necessarily feel grateful. However, grateful people, they will surely feel happy, right? So we can practice this, gratefulness as you write it. 5 things in the morning. Usually, what happens is it's very difficult to do it because we are, we constantly habitually think about the problems, So even after having really nice dinner in a very nice restaurant, as you walk out, you're thinking that, oh, everything was good except, one thing was problem. You know what I mean? So we always think about one bad things. Whenever you look at the internet, your Facebook or something, then there's a lot of friendly, say, oh, it's wonderful, oh, nice. However, one person said negative thing about you, and then you focus on it, you zero in on it, because we are constantly think about negative things. It's part of our evolution. In order to survive, we have to focus on what it appears to be danger. So even if 10 great things exist, when one negative, dangerous things appear, then we are wired to focus on negative things. However, this habit, continues, and therefore our mind is occupied with the negative things. But we can change this. When we look at the grateful things during the daytime, rather than thinking about finding, negative things, you can look for what is grateful. You see what I mean? Yeah. And then your daily time, you can change overall texture, overall content of your mind to the positive side. Yes? Yeah? Okay. And then second thing that you can do, it's very easy and simple, but I highly, highly recommend, is that why don't you wait, for your loved one in a subway station? You know what I mean? Or bus station. I remember, when I was a young boy, my mom would wait for me in front of my school when it's rain. When it's rain, she will bring the umbrella and then wait for me. And then when I see my mom waiting for me and with the umbrella, I felt loved, I felt so good, And I realized that, even as an adult, we feel that way too, When you see your husband or wife waiting in a subway station holding umbrella for you, this gives you a very special feeling, This person waited for me. And then you can do the same thing for your brothers or sisters or mother, your family member or somebody very close to you, and give a very special feeling. And this creates sense of connections, and while you are walking home, you can also talk about, what happened, at work, what happened at school, and you can have a very intimate time. And also, you can go to your son's or your daughter or your husband's, favorite restaurant or ice cream shop, along the way. And then having that ice cream together and then talking about what happened. This creates much, closer intimacy and bonding. And therefore, even without spending a lot of money, we can surely become happier. Am I right? Yeah? If you feel it's right, can you just clap your hands? And another thing we can do is we can learn to meditate. I would like to invite everyone to meditate just for a couple minutes together. And meditation is to bringing our mind to the present moment. And present moment is what we have. And also paying attention to our body, the sensation of our body. Because we are constantly thinking about things, we don't pay attention to how my body feels unless we are sick, So even though we carry around this body, we become less connected to our body. And also, another thing is, we can also pay attention to our emotion by, saying things in a very compassionate passage. So I thought that maybe we can all do it together, just for a couple minutes. Would that be okay? Yeah? So in order to do that, I want you to do this, Relax your shoulder, and then go around, the other directions. Yeah? And then I want you to, do this. Stretch, and then left, and right, and left, and right, left, and right. And I want you to shake your hand. Shake, 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 shake. Shake it, and shake it. And then you go, okay? And then put both of your feet on the ground and make sure your back is somewhat straight. And then we're going to take a deep breath. So you can close your eyes. As you close your eyes, let's take a, like 3-4 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Relax. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. I want you to put your right hand to your heart. Right hand to your heart. And see if you can caress gently. Caress your heart. And you can close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to repeat after me in Portuguese. Repeat after me in Portuguese. I will say in English and just repeat after whatever the translator is saying. So here we go. May I be happy. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I be healthy. May I be protected. May I be protected. May I be happy. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I be healthy. May I be protected. May I be protected. I want you to spend next 30 seconds and send the loving kindness energy through your hands to your heart, wishing you to be happy, peaceful, healthy, and always protected wherever you go. Now you can open your eyes, and I want you to hold the person next to you. See if you can hold hands. The person next to you, hold hand. Yeah, hold hands. And then, now you imagine that people who are holding hands right now are your loved one. So your left and right, imagine your child or your husband, your mother is holding your hands. So close your eyes and imagine that the person who's holding your hands right now, to your left and right, it is your loved one, somebody who loves you so well, so much. It could be your child or your husband, wife, or mother, or father. And if you have visualized those people's face sitting next to you, and from the warmth of your hands, now I want you to transmit the blessing to the person. So repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you be healthy. May you be protected. May you be protected. May you be accepted. May you be accepted. May you be wise. May you be wise. Thank you so much for being part of my life. Repeat after me. Thank you so much for being part of my life. Because of you, I was not lonely. Thank you for being part of my life. So for the next 20 seconds, while closing your eyes, send the loving kindness energy to your loved one, okay? From the warmth of your hands, wishing them to be healthy, accepted, loved, peaceful, and may their wish come true. And now we are going to send the same loving kindness energy to the person who's actually sitting next to you, okay? So repeat after me. Thank you so much for sitting next to me. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be protected. May you have a wonderful day. And send the loving kindness energy, for the next 20 seconds in silence. And we're gonna take 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can gently let go of the hands and say thank you to your neighbor. Thank you. Thank you. And then Shuri, clap your hands. Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, wonderful. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I'm so happy that you liked it. Yeah. Some of the, another a good things that we can practice that which does not cost a lot of money is actually calling your friends on the phone, how many times have you recently called your friends? I have because we have a cell phone and smartphone. We ended up texting message to other people, through WhatsApp or Facebook, However, we don't hear my friend's voice. So we loses this kind of intimacy through voice. And I remember one of my friends, she like complained that my friends, I heard that group of friends that I meet, she gathered together and they had a wonderful dinner without me, and I'm so upset because they didn't call me, But the thing is, you can also call your friends, right? You can arrange to have meetings. I think one of the greatest sad epidemic in the world is feeling of loneliness. Nowadays, especially elderly people, they feel very lonely and they don't have a lot of people around, because people are all living alone many times. However, you can change that by looking at your phone contact the persons and making a phone call and say, hey, let's get together and have a wonderful dinner together. So having this face-to-face time, I think is very precious, and we often overlook that, which is very interesting phenomena because we are so connected right now through internet. You can just talk to anyone. Some of your friends in Europe, you can talk to them for free. However, we feel lonelier. We feel more disconnected. So we can change that by actually making appointment and then seeing your friends. And another a simple thing you can actually do to make your life happier is declutter your room. Put away some of your stuff that you don't use. A lot of clothes, for example. Look through your closet. See how many clothes you are not wearing. And if you haven't worn that clothes for the last 5 years, because you become fatter, then the chances are, you may not wear that ever again. So make a donation, give it to somebody or throw away if you have to. And so having more free space makes you feel calmer, makes you feel more peaceful, You discover that, oh, I thought that I don't have a whole lot of clothes to wear. But funny thing is, if you throw away a lot of unnecessary clothes, for example, you discover, I do have a number of clothes, good clothes that I can wear. It is just that they were buried, hidden underneath all the clothes that I don't wear. You see what I mean? Yeah, so you can declutter, items. Especially, I don't know about you, but in Korea, people give you a lot of, cosmetic sample, like small bottle sample, and then you collect them, you use them. But, they are everywhere. So, easiest thing you can do is to throw them away, all the used one, and thereby creating, more peaceful, space. By having less is actually more, for our mentality. And last thing that I could, talk about is volunteer work. I do, believe that finding your own purpose in life actually can create a sense of, happiness. And it will motivate you to go forward. And then, oftentimes people who had a very difficult experience in the earlier age, you can actually heal yourself, by being a volunteer. What do I mean by this? Well, I am also a writer, but because of the success of my 2 books, The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down and Love for Imperfect Things in Korea, and I was able to found a School of Broken Hearts. it's a non-profit organization, so a lot of the money that I was able to make, I just give it to the School of Broken Hearts. So this is where people who have a difficulty in their, like you are recently diagnosed with cancer, or you just, divorced from your, husband or wife, or you are raising a child with disabilities, so people who are having a lot of difficulty, heartbroken, they can come together and support each other, That's the kind of thing that I did. And then, one of the ways for us to feel, heal ourselves, I realized is actually helping other people is actually helping us. So we, often go and do the food truck, free, food, do you know the food truck, that like free food that you go to? So we do that once a month. And we do feel a lot of healing, while we are doing it. Because, a lot of people say, oh, like all those elderly people who come and get the free food, I think about my parents who are already passed away. Even though there is nothing I can do for my parents, I feel that I can do something for somebody around the same age as my father or mother. And people who are volunteering work in the orphanage, for example, and I remember one lady, she said that she didn't receive a lot of love from her mother while growing up. However, now she can bathe the orphans, she volunteer in the orphanage. It gives her the sense of, connections to, children. And she feels that she is somehow healed by helping other people. So, when you are actually doing some volunteer work, it actually helps you in return. So something that we can all do to, in a sense of having purpose in our lives by serving other people. I know that a lot of you are a teacher. I think teacher is a wonderful, wonderful profession, and you should all, think about your first motivation. First reason why you become a teacher. Because the circumstances are very tough, we often forget the very first reason why we became a teacher. We became a teacher because we really, really deeply care about our children, right? Right? Yeah. So keep that in mind. I know that a lot of difficult things appears. You have a trouble with your coworkers. You don't get along with the other, some of the difficult kids or the families of difficult kids. However, if you can still keep in mind your first motivations, first reason why you became a teacher, you can persevere. You can continue your good work. Because you are connected to your love, you are connected to your compassions. Forget about all this, little thing that bothers you. You are doing it for the greater purpose. You see? Okay, that's it for now for me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much time I have, but I know that there was a person who would like to. Yeah.
Yeah. Obrigada pelo momento inspirador. Acho que todo mundo aqui, de alguma maneira, é profundamente tocado. A gente não vai conseguir abrir para o público, porque senão a gente atrasa todas as próximas palestras. Então, eu me propus a fazer uma pergunta, de alguma maneira, uma colocação que eu espero que, de alguma forma, agregue o que todo mundo aqui sentiu e aprendeu. Acho que uma das nossas maiores aprendizagens é ver e sentir a diferença que a gente sente entre o mundo externo, ele começou falando disso, e o mundo interno. A gente praticou aqui essa importância da voz, né, desse afago da voz com a gente mesmo. Então, como a proposta era olhar primeiro para os professores que estão aqui, para as pessoas que estão aqui, elas com elas mesmas. A pergunta que eu faria é qual a importância de nós falarmos e ouvirmos a nossa própria voz quando encontramos esses minutos de conexão com o nosso mundo interno. Por que isso é tão importante e o que isso causa de impacto na vida externa?
Okay. My brother is teacher, high school teacher, and I used to be a college professor for 7 years, So all the teachers that I meet, they tend to be very nice people, They are really, they are willing to sacrifice, They are really care about other people, especially, children's. However, while we are doing that, we forget to listen to what my heart is saying, because if we care only for the demands of outer world, demands from children, demands from students or other, teacher, then what happens is in the process, we lose ourselves, We lose, our own interests, how wellness of ourselves. We completely lose that. So I propose that I think we need to maintain inner and outer balance, So if you are just saying yes, yes, yes to your students, yes, yes, yes to your coworker, then you also sometimes you have to say yes to my own body, what my body is feeling, what my emotion is feeling now, So if you can care for both my well-being and other people's well-being, then you can have a very harmonious, happy life, However, if you are doing one extreme, that is, you only care about yourself, for example, and you don't care about how other people think of you, then you will have a very difficult relationship with other people. You see what I mean? But the opposite is also the terrible. That is, you only care about other people and you don't care about yourself, then you will burn out. You will become like completely tired, exhausted, and sometimes you even get a cancer. I've seen it. So I would say that maintaining this balance, between the two is the single most important thing. So I want to conclude my, session. I want to invite you to do this. Can you stretch like this? Yeah, and then repeat after me in Portuguese. When I love myself, when I accept myself, the world will begin to love me. And the world begin to accept me. And I can also accept the world. Thank you so much.